good evening, fellas. Good evening, good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How you all doing again today? Yes, this is my second live stream of the day. Yes, I did one early this morning. And now I'm doing another one today. Yes, you see my face. Yes, I'm relaxing right now. And my window is let me show you my famous window. Yeah, it's beautiful, huh? Yes. Oops. Yeah. How you all doing? I hope it's all going well. Yes. Yes, good morning, good evening. So I keep saying good morning. Good evening, viewers. Good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I just wanted to share certain things. Yes, the title of this live stream of Cargo Cults, how it started, and I'll explain what the term means. But I had a fantastic day. Yeah, after I did my video, I got yeah. Hope you guys could hear me too. Let me know about the volume. I know my voice sometimes gets a little lower. It might be hard hard for you to hear me like this morning. So I apologize if you can't hear me. Yes, it's always good to see you all coming on. Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, I'm going to talk about cargo cults and what it means to me. I feel comforted with watching this video. Yeah, after I did my video this morning, I was listening to someone else's, and it was a video that someone else uploaded on this YouTuber who talks about cargo cults. I've heard it before. It was just the audio version of it, and I needed to hear it. I needed to hear it, and when I got myself ready, I went outside today. I felt, wow. Yeah, I went to the park, my usual park, the big one. And it gave me a time to um, really ponder about the significance of what a cargo cult was. And but first, I just want to say that I just felt so good today. I mean, it's always good to say something positive. I can get long-winded, but I just want to say up front that my day was fantastic when I went outside. I left my place a little later than usual, just a little bit, a couple of hours later, but it was still the morning crowd. And the weather was fantastic, people. It was fantastic. It was like, I think when I left, it was about 45 degrees Fahrenheit and was increasing in temperature. By the time I got back, it was in the 50s and the sun was out. So that's perfect, the weather. When the sun is out and the temperature cool, it is so refreshing. I felt so refreshed. And I just want to put that out there so that, for me, when if I go over this video, to remember that, man, today I was feeling beautiful in my body. I felt so relaxed. Yesterday was a different day, and I felt the complete opposite. Um, it was hectic yesterday, and I felt like my mind was being attacked. It was a lot of negative energies, and I think what might have done it was um, I didn't expect to see that many people because yesterday I went out much later than usual, and I got the tourist crowd big time. I went south yesterday, and it was a deluge of people, and I think the energies, the different, bodies and everything, it created anxiety in my body. But today was a different story. Today I went north, and I left a little earlier than yesterday. And the sun was out, not yesterday, but the sun was out, and I wore less layers, and it was fantastic, people. And when I actually got in the park, I just it just it just felt so good. The sun was there. There were tourists, but it wasn't so cluttered, and I was just feeling good. And yeah, when I was coming back home, I took my time coming back home, and I was the feeling of of satisfaction was unbelievable. I mean, the air was it was cool enough, but still hot. Because the sun was out strong. It was maybe 50 degrees or 51 degrees by this time. Perfect weather for my dogs. And yes, and so my dogs walked a little better today. And I just want to get that out there. When I'm feeling good, I mean, I felt a sense of hope. And I was thinking about the cargo cult um, phenomenon and about religion in general. Again, whatever what your faith-based system is for you, if it serves you, you serve it. But for me, upon coming to this, you know, really brainstorming about this relationship of religion and myself. Now, I used to be a Christian. I stopped going to church the end of 2013, had my paradigm shift in, what's that, 2014, the end of 2014, and then just trying to get through. And then I renounced Christianity for me. But some people adhere to that faith-based system. If it serves you, you serve it. But where I want to begin with all this now, yeah, I have my notes here. I was watching a video, and it was the audio version. I saw the actual video some months ago, and they talked about what's called the cargo cult. And what is the cargo cult of religion? The cargo cult of religion. And what is that now? Well, during World War II in the Pacific, you had these many American military going to different islands in in the Pacific Islands, in the Indian Ocean, and some of these people never saw people outside of their island, and they're meeting all these European Americans, and what these Americans were doing, they wanted to kind of like reach out to the indigenous people there. They were giving them little trinkets like spam ham, um, I guess other supplies. And the people were really fascinated with these strangers. And again, these American military, they had, okay, technology like aircraft. They're also bigger in stature. They had supplies, and I guess they liked the food. And they laughed. And but the people never forgot them, these visitors. And so they did like a tribute to these military forces. They like the planes that they had. They made like a replica of the planes that they landed there. They they mimicked the rifles that they had made out of wood, and they were waiting for them to come back. And I did talk about this years ago. I think in yeah, I did a video about them and something people in the Indian Ocean. Um, yeah, I talk about this. It is part of my spiritual journey about this. It was very eye-opening when I saw videos about that incident. Um, but they were worshiping these people and waiting for them to come back one day. Could you believe it in hindsight? Being someone who's from the United States and spam ham that is so bad for you. The salt in it, the preservatives. You know, I've had it before growing up, but that's not something you want to eat every day. But either way, these people looked up to them and were worshiping them. And this YouTuber who was talking about this phenomenon um, was saying, hey, this is where world religions come from. And in the Bible, uh, in Genesis, the so-called gods were people from another world. And I would tend to believe that as well. And people worship them. People, you know, we give our energies to them. I ask myself, if they are a God, why would God need your praises? Why would God need you to do animal sacrifices? And why would God need to drink their blood? You know, the animal blood. Why all these things? You have to ask yourself. And why would God require you to kill somebody? Why does this God of the Bible talk about so much destruction? And it was bothering me. And so when I was going out today and I was at the park, my mind was focusing on this story. And I also started thinking about, you know, because I just felt I had to process this information. But yeah, so um, actually, before I saw the video about the cargo cult, I had listened to this Christian YouTuber. I do respect the person. I think the person is sincere about their faith. But I started thinking, like, he comes on YouTube and he talks about all these world events that are happening. He's really good at symbolism, things like that. And he talks about all the drama, the corruption that's going on in this planet. And then he concludes at the end, it's like he's crunching down now. You know, it's intensifying. The content he's talking about is intensifying. Yeah, the signs of the times are intensifying. I would say it's intensified um, the things that are happening in New York City. Uh, yeah, the homelessness, just a lot of things, and you start to feel uncomfortable. And it's designed. What's happening today is designed to make you feel uncomfortable. So, with the YouTuber, after he's talking about all these bad things, he says, for these reasons, come to Jesus. And he's, you know, the Savior and all that. And I used to believe in this Jesus. But now, after having my paradigm shift, um, I question the narrative of the Bible, and that these things in the Bible is a part of a cargo cult, worshiping that which appears to be bigger or better than you. It's technology. I mean, some of these places on this planet here, some countries, they really have a lot of technology. They have. I mean, they have up on many nations. Especially if you go to Northern Europe, it's really, I've been to Northern Europe. It's very nice. You don't really see starving people. It's very, very modern and very clean. Who wouldn't want that? They have universities, all that. And some nations, they're struggling just to get water. So, of course, people are going to look up to those other nations, and a lot of people are leaving. A lot of people are leaving their countries, especially in the Americas, and they're coming up north to the United States. So this cargo cult, well, um, yeah, so it's like, listen to the Christian YouTuber, and it's like, the conclusion of the matter, because of X, Y, and Z, that it's even more imperative that you become a Christian and have Jesus as your Savior. And I'm asking myself, did he save people during World War II? Did he save us from the slave trade? There are a lot of things that you have to start asking. You're giving your energy to something, someone that, where are they? Where are they? What about with the pandemic from 2020 and now? Where was this Jesus? What are you doing? I question, and it's all part of, I feel, a cargo cult, and it's designed to sap our energy and resources. Worship. What is worship? It's devoting your, actually you're devoting your energy. You are setting your focus on this thing. Do you know when you do that, you are giving your energy? And I think that's what it's all about. That these gods slash Elohim, which is plural, they're they're vowing, they want your attention slash energy. And I think it's just a game, a competition from the different gods to compete for your attention, for your resources, and the manipulation of your mind to control you. So I felt like I'm 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 to worship this alleged God because of something bad happening. So people are just coming to Jesus because of fear. What kind of God is that? Why have something, go to something just because of fear or out of fear? That's not a genuine conversion. To go to something because of the fullness of your life, and you see the value, but not like, hey, I'm going to cause this, I'm going to let XYZ happen to you. But, don't fear, because if you come on my side, I'll take care of you in the end. I, it just, that doesn't make sense. That is not what a creator does, in my opinion. So I just felt it was a falsehood. I respect the YouTuber, but I'm not respecting that come to Jesus because the world is decay. You have many churches here in the United States, and they work for the government, and they're not doing anything of any real construction to save humanity. I can't see it. And so I was thinking about this. I think, what is this? Why should I follow this Christianity just because something bad is happening? What if something good is happening? How is it that you have other people and they may not go to church, but somehow their God is able to supply their needs, supply them food, money, prestige, a nice neighborhood, a nice job, all these things, but your God doesn't do it. You have to ask them. They say, oh, well, God let them make money. The false gods, the real God allowed them to help out their uh, admirees. So what is saying about the so-called true God? Doesn't make sense, doesn't it? It doesn't. It doesn't for me. So I get turned off when I hear ministers say, hey, the world's going to fall. The world's coming to an end. Okay, everybody. And I think it's a trap. That's what I want to say. I think it's a trap. It is a trap. It is a competition, in my opinion, of the different gods vying for your attention and your commitment to them. Once you know that you have a commitment to them, then it's like putting a seal of you upon you. And I think, yes, I think what happens, see, energetically, in this physical form, we have our limitations, and our end of days. But once your soul leaves this 3D universe, your soul will go on. And that's what they want, and that's what I think they're fighting over. Because eventually, you're going to get reincarnated back into something, and I guess they want to fight for you where you come back into. It's all like a game, a monopoly game of power. That's what I really feel, that it's all about control, getting devotees, so they gain power. And yes, you may gain some favor, but who's getting more favor? Who's really getting the big load? So I just don't feel right about hearing pastors talk about the end of the days, but you better come to Jesus because it's going to protect you. What is it going to protect you from? The scriptures say you're going to get, if about the rapture, or what do you call it, the time of tribulation. Yeah, tribulation means chaos. He's not, this God is not saving you from that. You're going to go through something. But that's okay, because in the end, he's going to raise you from the dead. So what's the whole point of saving you? If you're going to die anyway, right? So how is that benefiting you? The soul doesn't die. You may die in this form, but then our spirit goes elsewhere. So what is he saving you from? It's not saving you from death. You don't really die. You change energies, and then you become something else. So the other thing I want to say in connection with all this, I was looking into African spirituality. sometimes I watch, well, recently I've been watching about what they call the Orishas. I understand that means about the gods, they serve as gods or angels. And what are these Orishas? It seems like different type of, that they have specialties, you have the god that specializes in, they have their domain in the ocean. You may have another god that's uh, in charge of fresh waters. You might have another god of fire, etc., etc. Well, in Catholicism, they have their, excuse me, they have um, their, what do you call it? Their saints. And I think the term is called synchronicity. It's referring to like, okay, you have the religion. Hey, Derek. Yes, thank you. Yeah, happy New Year to you too. Yeah, like in Catholicism, they have the different saints, and these saints were people, and you pray to these saints. They have like specialties in something. Let's say maybe one of the saints were uh, good at farming. Well, all these little specialties that they were known for, and when you need help in that area, you pray to this saint, and you light a candle. And so in Catholicism, with the transatlantic slave trade, um, you had the Catholic Church, and people of that church primarily came from Spain and Portugal, and then they had part of the kidnap, human trafficking of people from Africa, and they were later enslaved. These African people, um, the Africans had their original religion, and they were into spiritualism, and they had their gods that they would worship to. But with Catholicism, okay, their oppressors were forbidding them to the enslaved people to worship their gods. So it seemed like a compromise. Now, they didn't want to give up their religion, but the Catholic Church was very strong. Um, so the people, the African people, noticed that they were, worshiping the saints, and so they realized these saints were similar to some of the gods that they worship, different archetypes or uh, um, descriptions about them or what they focus on. And so they would blend um, a Catholic saint and then the equivalent in their African religion. So that's how they hid their religion, the African people. And so I started thinking when these ideas were coming in my mind, and again, I was outside, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day, and my mind was just soaring, you know. Um, if, okay, now if my listening to the video about the cargo codes, this YouTuber who talked about the cargo codes, and that these were false gods, so aren't these, Catholicism that falls in that category, and their saints, a type of false god? Um, so if the African spiritual religion, worships, has its component, it's equivalent to the Catholic religion, okay, so they're side by side, aren't they worshiping the same thing, but it just has an African name? And that's when it clicked this morning. Yeah, I was in the beginning of my walk in the park, and that yeah, and I get a little index thing and I write them down, my thoughts down. That's a good thing for you to do. If you're outside, have a little pad and pen by your side, and when an idea comes to your mind, boom, you write it down on this, on a little pad, so you could, you know, ponder on it later on or do research. But it clicked to me. It clicked. If I'm to reject religion, Catholicism, the worship of the saints, those African spiritual, religions, with the Orishas, it's the same thing. It is the same thing. I know it might offend some people there for me to say so because, Mother Africa, right? Yeah, I feel, hey, Mother Africa. But if they're the same thing, really, Catholicism saints and the Orishas, and they're both compatible, then maybe it's the same thing. Like some of the people that were studying about the Bible, um, these were beings from another place, but they looked more important or had all these abilities. But these are false gods. They're not the creator. You have people who have abilities and they're trying to pass off, like the cargo cults, as something more than who they really are. And we're falling for it. So I'm thinking still that it would throw in the African spirituality, the same thing, because they themselves said, hey, we have an equivalent God to the same. So maybe they're all one and the same. So how could I say that the African spirituality is any better than Catholicism, praying to their saints and lighting a candle? To me, it clinched to me because I was like battling between, because I'm interested in ancient African, the spirituality, the religion. Um, I want to know more about that. I reject Abrahamic religion, so I was curious about these West African indigenous religions, but it just clicked. They're one and the same, basically. They're archetypes. And the other thing that clinched to me about all this is how come, like in West Africa, if it's so much worship of these spirits, African, the Orishas, how come it's so much poverty there? And yes, you have many that are Islamic or Christian and the various denominations, but they're not thriving. They are not thriving. Are there individuals who do okay? Yes, of course. Just like you have some people here that are thriving, but many people are not thriving. People aren't really, they're not thriving off of this African spirituality. They aren't. So why should I worship it? I don't understand this. I don't. Does this make any sense, people? If you're going to say this God that you worship You have people, they set up an altar, and they were telling me, I mean, not me specifically, but I was watching many videos on this African spirituality. They said the first thing first, you better get an altar for your ancestors. And I did talk about this in a past video about ancestral worship because I was exploring, and a couple of years ago, I did set up a little something in my room, a little altar. For me, I didn't really get much. I mean, I didn't get any transformation or of any spiritual elevation. Um, but it seems like these gods, orishas, they seem to be more dependent on you than you dependent on them. I don't understand how a creator wants to drink booze, cigars, cigarettes, perfume, your food, and you have to do this every day. You have to give it water every day. What are you really entertaining? And God forbid if you miss a day, they're going to have it. Now, um, that is not a God. And if your ancestors didn't help you when you were alive, when they were alive, I'm saying, well, respect those people who passed. Yeah, respect the dead. Don't do harm to the dead. But um, how could they help you? If they help you, shouldn't they help you because they want to help you? And if somebody helps you, you help them. But this codependency, they want you to do this every day and sacrifice animals. And we have food, you set up a plate of food for them. It seems like they they need you more than you need them. If they can't prepare their own food or get their own cigars or alcohol or cigarettes, what do you need them for? What is really happening? They want, these spirits want your attention because they feed off of it. That is not the creator. Why can't you go directly to the source? Why can't you just go directly to the source? I don't know. I mean, if something helps you, reciprocate. But it sounds good on paper. It sounds good, we've been here in the Americas for so long. We're disconnected with our original language and religion. Yes, I have feeling for that. But are we just switching from one bondage to another, from one faith to another faith? But it's all the same. It's all the same because, again, the equivalent of the Orishas to the Catholic saints. They have the same personality, same energy being. I don't know. I I decided for me with this, I'm not gonna, I don't want to follow. I mean, I want to follow what's natural to me in my heart. I like going outside in nature. I like talking to nature, the trees, and all that. It makes me feel good. I want a religion that is open for, to respect myself and others and nature and animals. Yeah, that's the religion I want to be into. I don't want to be into bondage that I got to, okay, every day I got to do this and that at this time, that time. I don't want to be enslaved by religion. All these people are dying because of religion. It's not of God. It's of these beings that are vying for your attention to suck your resources. I don't want to be a part of that. I do believe in the supernatural. I had a paranormal experience 2 years ago, my birthday. I saw my first orb. So there are intelligences out there that's invisible to our eyes. And it's only when it is able to transform itself and then you see them. I should say I saw that orb. It was a beautiful, beautiful orb. And I felt it was full of compassion. It was a little tiny orb the size of a little marble. I saw it just for a split second. Um, so I know there's something beautiful out there, but it's not found in religion. Um, Part of me um, am still interested in leaving the states. Yeah, yeah, I believe things are really going to get tough. I mean, I guess part of the allure of Africa, going back to your ancestry and to be around things that are indigenous. I'm attracted to that, but I don't want to get in bondage. I want to live a simple life, have my dogs with me, live in a nice little house. I want to be around trees and fruits. You know, that's my little dream. That I can see myself. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I really don't know. But when I was walking today and I was just feeling so good inside, the energy was fabulous. I haven't felt that good in months, maybe even years. But I felt full of hope. And I said, I want to leave. I said, oh, it'd be nice to meet somebody. Yeah, it'd be nice. I was just, yeah, I was just feeling good and uh, wishful. Hey, maybe I might meet a nice person. Oh, yeah, my fantasy was out there. Wow. it, yeah, I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. Yeah, I mean, uh, life is about making choices for yourself and hoping that those choices are the best ones for you. And I just had a feeling of hope. Um, yeah, I also feel like, I told you all that I was supposed to leave 2 months ago. It fell through my plans, some things beyond my control. Uh, I was given wrong information. Yeah, that's what happened. I was given wrong information, and uh, you can't go when you can't take your money with you. In short, but I love the idea. You know, oh, I felt like I don't know whether this is happening to you people. Um, I've been waking up with an extremely dry mouth. I have my water here. I'm going to drink this. Yeah, and before bed, I drink this, and I wake up a couple hours later, and I feel dehydrated in my mouth. I believe, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I do sleep with my device on, yes. But I've been doing this for a couple of years, and this phenomenon of dry mouth started. 1 year ago. I'm wondering whether the technology, what do you call it, this 5G and what do you call it, Wi-Fi and all that I think it's affecting my body. I mean, excuse me, even my dogs. I have the water bowl right behind me, and they drink copious amount of water. They weren't like that before. And I'm drinking water. I am drinking my water, but why? Like right now, it's really dry. Yeah, yeah. I need to get my water, and I drink. I eat things that have a large water content, so I know I'm getting my fluids. But why this thing feels like a cotton ball in my mouth? Have any of you experienced this? So this was happening this morning, and so when I was outside, I say, I think they're sending out these what do you call it, electromagnetic EMF, electromagnetic magnetic frequencies, and maybe at nighttime they have it pumped up high, and it's affecting me. And because I feel like, hey, I don't want to be around this. How is this going to affect my health in the long run? So for me, I just felt, hey, I want to get out of here. That's what I felt. And I was thinking about moving abroad again. And I just felt so, I felt that it has to be right. You know, people are focusing on things. They're not focused on life. I want to focus on life and love and happiness. That's what I want. And yeah, I just felt so wishful, and yeah, my imagination was flying high. Boy, it felt it felt good. Yes, it did. It's good to dream and having a fantasy or a desire about something um, is healthy. I said, boy, if I can have that, yeah, yeah, if I can have that, it was fabulous. Oh, let me just say one thing. It is called catastrophic contagions. Catastrophic contagions. Yeah, I earlier today I talked about SEERS, SEERS. That SEERS is an acronym for some virus thing, and I did make mention that, and so that this thing is going to happen. I was told that there's some meeting that took place, and that in 2025 that the certain governments are going to participate in this what do you call it, this enactment of a um, another pandemic, and it's to be in 2025. Yeah, I looked it up again. It's called catastrophic contagion. Uh, some meeting was held with what's his name, Bill Gates organization, and this other international organization. I can't remember on the top of my head, but some health organization, I think it was. Um, they already held this meeting. Yeah, I, it's actually 8 nations. 8 nations. Oh, what was it? Yeah, there were 5 African nations, and I know one of them included Rwanda, 2 Asian nations, and one European nation. That was Germany. I said, those countries, what do they all have in common? And why 5 African nations? Why are they targeting? And again, they're going to be targeting, one of the five countries was Rwanda. Rwanda went through hell 28 years ago. They had that massacre. Over 1 million people died in the 5 month span. 5 month span, 1 million people plus were murdered. So why involve them in this catastrophic contagion? That's what they call it. There's a movie called Contagion, and it's about a virus. See that these things. Yeah, thank you for giving me the thumbs up. Yeah, this is very important. Go look it up on your search engine. Catastrophic contagion. That this Bill Gates' organization and another um, medical I forget what organization, but they already held the meeting, and they're going to do this. What do you call it? This simulation. What will you do if another pandemic happens? Why do you need to do this? Again, as I said this morning when I made mention about this, be very careful. And if you can speak out against them. See, they did this to us in 2020, and I know people who died, relatives who died from this. People were scared to death. I think many of these people died of fear. Fear can kill you. It puts so much stress on you. And that was another reason why I wanted to leave. It's not healthy here, mentally. They are mentally trying to destroy us. All the plan, they want to do everybody. But they're now thinking this other plan. They want this new catastrophic contagion is to target the youth. A lot of these East African places, they have a young population, young, and they know that. The median age in some of those East African countries is 16. It's a young culture. So if you get the youth, boom, they have no future. When 9/11, as I mentioned earlier, that 9/11, with the Twin Towers, it was also a mock or a simulation they were doing, and then boom, you don't know whether it's really happening or not. And they used that opportunity to actually destroy. So it had to be an insider. Who knew that they were going to do a mock simulation on 9/11? Someone inside. It's all a cover-up. Horrible, horrible people. Don't stand for this. Africa, I forget the name of the five countries, but the one that stood out to me was Rwanda. That was the country I wanted to go to in October, this past October. But it fell through. It's a small-ass country. It went through hell 28 years ago. Now they're going to participate. They want to kill off the youth there. And I'm surprised Germany is also getting involved. Why is that? And only 2 Asian countries, small ones. This is really weird, people. This is evil. It's evil. And I wanted to stop. Stop it, guys. These people, these scientists are evil. And where's this God? Where's this Jesus? What are they doing? It's not God. It's not the creator. It's not the creator, it's BS. And they want you to get scared, scared, scared. And then you choose a God. And that's the whole point of all this. They want to take your energy, your soul, and then recycle you to come back again and then serve them again. Yeah, they're not gods. Excuse me, they're not gods. They're false gods, taking advantage of our ignorances being in this world, this 3D life. I don't want it. I choose freedom. I want freedom for myself. When I go outside in nature, I felt so damn good today. I felt like $1,000,000. I feel beyond. I feel priceless. It's like everything just went away. And I think part of it is that I think something they put out these EMF, and it affects your thinking. It creates anxiety. It could create anger, and you have problem with impulse control. You get violent. You might go to a therapist to try to find out why this happened. It's your environment. It is your environment that's doing it. I don't want to be a part of it. I no. No, it's going to be hell here. That's what I pick up. It's really picking up. I don't want to be here. I don't know what I'm going to do. But how I feel today, I said, oh God, I would love that fantasy. I love to be in nature, but find someone nice, walk hand in hand in a nice, beautiful park. That's what I was thinking. I thought, wow, it really felt great. I felt so much hope today. Yeah. And I want you to have hope too. Not hope in a religion or a false God. Why can't you be your own God? Worship yourself. Worship your family. Worship life for you to enjoy. Yeah, slavery is that. I don't want slavery. I don't want anything to enslave me or say I have to join this religion because if I don't I'm gonna go to hell. It's baloney. You don't die. Your body expires, but not your essence. And that's what these false gods are all about, to take your essence, to control you. They feed off of you. The Creator doesn't need you to do animal sacrifices to put an altar of cigars, booze, a chicken wing for them to eat every day. The Creator doesn't have to eat. Yet the Creator is living in you. You're part of the Creator. And what I experienced today felt real. It was enlightening. It was unreal. I want that every day. I was blessed to experience it today. Who knows what tomorrow may bring, but I know how I felt today, and when my mind was just free, poof, it felt right. Love feels good. Love is. I want love. I don't want bondage, and I don't want to be a part of somebody conditionally, to believe in them, to serve them, so I don't go to hell. How do you know they're not already there? Maybe they're in hell, and they want to pull you down with them. And I notice also these people who follow these African tradition, the Orishas and all that. Look in the neighborhoods that they live in. Yet in New York City, you have a lot of people who practice that. And they practice these, again, it's their business. And I'm not here trying to insult people's belief system. If it serves you, you serve it. But I'm just noticing that the people that seem to follow this live in the slum. They live in the slum. Why follow a spirit or angel and the only thing that they can provide you is a slum? Why don't you find out the God of those people live in those fancy penthouse buildings who are able to go on these elaborate vacations? What God do they serve? If you're going to follow something that creates results. But I think those gods of these rich people, they are the devil. What some of these people have to do to get that money, you wouldn't want to be a part of them. You wouldn't. No, I want the God, the God of love, the spirit of wellness. That's what I want. I know I felt good today in a long time. That's what I want to pursue. Yeah, and I want my dogs to be with me, and to when you feel good inside, you're able to give to your loved ones and share that energy with them. That's what I want. Yeah. So I know I spoke a lot about these things. There's a lot of falsehood. They want you to choose sides in fear. Maybe you should test them. Hey, what could you deliver? Have them, winner gets all. But why choose somebody? Why choose? Because see, then you become the slave. Because you are then have to serve them. And when you go into these religions, orishas and stuff like that, when you get initiated, you have to do it for the rest of your life. And if you stop giving your offerings to them, they get upset and they come out to get you. That happens. So you're not free. You're not free. Yeah. I know there's a spirit world out there. I don't understand it at all. I know that I saw a spirit being, the little orb, and it was beautiful. And it visited me for a split second, and then it disappeared. So I know that things exist outside of this 3D world. I'm not looking for work. I'm looking for friendship, mutual respect. That's all. That's fine. Yes, I sometimes you need help. You need wisdom. But just like sometimes you're walking in the street, someone's stumbling and they're going to fall, and you help them. Hey, you grab them before they fall on their face. Does that mean that I want them to worship me because I help them? It's about reciprocity. There's a natural order of things that we all have. It's understood that you're going to need help from time and again. And they too. But it shouldn't be compulsory that you better or else. I'm the type of person, I want to feel it here. And when I feel it here, move here, then I want to do that. you know, or some of these holidays. Oh, you better do this because or else. I don't like it. I don't like the bond. I don't want bondage. Choose freedom. Choose freedom. What 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 you consider what freedom is. Yeah. So, oh, what I was saying really quick with regard to those nations, the catastrophic catastrophic contagion. Yes, you could uh, Google search that as well, or whatever search engine you like to use, and you'll see for yourself that the 8 nations, 5 African nations, I'm sorry, 2 Asian and 1 European nation. And this contagion supposed to take place in 2025. That's in 2 years from now. And I know I don't want to be there when that happens. Yeah, they're out. They're losing their mind. This planet. They're losing it. Yeah, yeah. Also, also be careful. You have a lot of people advertising, and they trying to get at your money. Yeah, you heard about oh, I don't even remember his name, but I think it's with a Bitcoin, some company stationed in the Bahamas or Bermuda, um, and they what do you call it? Chapter 11, and then they gave the Bahamas 24-hour uh, heads up that they're going to file for Chapter 11. So they liquidated the money, and the government took it. And then when all things broke loose, he was extradited. They brought him. You know, he's in New York. My goodness, I live here in New York. Yeah, he was supposed to go to Congress and tell Congress what his company did, but he never went because the U.S. New York got him from the islands, and he's in a jail or prison. You know, I guess waiting to be a trial. Yeah, he got a lot of secrets, a lot of secrets, and I heard like I listened to they had like a, what do you call it, a congressional meeting with some lawyer, and Congress was interviewing him to find out how all this happened. My instincts are telling me that all this, I mean, they look like a bunch of teenagers. That's what they look like. And they have no experience in finance, whatever, but yet they got caught allegedly robbing people of their money in I think in the billions, even bigger than that Ponzi scheme in 2008 with what's his name? Oh, it'll come to me. But either way, yeah, yeah, he was the top Democrat. Okay, okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. He donated money. Yeah, I believe that guy who had that organization, some investment thing. He was tied. I believe he was tied to a lot of stuff. Okay, he was a top Democrat supporter. Okay, yeah, something was up, and yeah, it figures that New York captured him in the islands, and it's in prison. Yeah, I bet he has a lot of secrets. Yeah, I listened to the hearing, the congressional hearing early this morning. It was 4 hours long, and very fishy. Everything. These guys didn't know any. Yeah, it's ridiculous. everything, like here, when I wanted to move away, and when I wanted to try to initiate, to open up a bank account, boy, it's difficult because of they are afraid of what you call money laundering. So how are these people able to use millions and millions of dollars? I just have a few dollars. So I believe it's something governmental that they used him as like a mule because he's a young white kid, right? Young white looking kid, and he's people aren't going to question, and they didn't question him or his pals. There's more to him, and New York is afraid. I feel that New York is afraid that he will spill the beans. So, you know, you never know. He might be, what do you call it? Epstein. Yeah, there's something deep going on. It's not, and I think they were also focusing on black people. When I listened to the congressional hearing on that company's activities, that they wanted to get people of color involved in this Bitcoin thing. I think they call it Bitcoin. I didn't even understand what this coin, that coin is. I'm not familiar with all this. I don't know what it is, and it's like a trend now, and I don't even know what it is. And I just said, no, I don't want it. Whatever it is, I don't want it. And it's interesting. They had the organization, the company in the islands. Was that Bahamas? And then they put in an American branch. Well, I'm sorry, they had the Bahamas, and then that was the first, and then they opened a second one, which was an international one. But it said in the congressional meeting that they wanted to target. They said people of color. What color? Well, they're in the Bahamas. You know what they are. Yeah, making people feel that you're going to get something. Yeah, man, they took. Yeah, or Bitcoin, you call it. Yeah, hey Yakov. Yeah, Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to read what Bitcoin, what Yakov says. Okay, okay. You. Okay, they use shell companies and those three-letter company. Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know what those letters were. Okay, shell company. Thank you for explaining Yakov. Yeah, Yakov is pretty good. Okay, Bitcoin is digital money. You buy low and wait until it gets high enough to cash in the digital bits of money to paper money from a Bitcoin exchange company to cash. I know, just even hearing that, I know I'm not going to do it. I'm, I don't like these trendy thing. Ew, it doesn't sit right with me. Just even listening to it, no, I don't want to be involved in that. Yeah, I believe it's something deeper. And the people at the congressional meeting were asking, well, how if oh, Bernie Madoff in 2008 did that Ponzi scheme and all these things, all these protections to prevent this from happening again. So how could this one happen? How? Because it's a setup. It's a setup. It was interesting. I listened to it, the 4 hours of it this early this morning, and it's like, um, someone's lying. Someone is lying. Why would you get a bunch of? Didn't they look like teenagers? They looked real young. I mean, they were college kids, college graduates, or they went to. The guy went to MIT. They didn't have any experience in this finance. How did they do that? To sell, I mean, see, I used to work in finance. Yeah, I was in many occupations. I worked in an investment company, finance company, a big one here in New York City. You need to get your credentials. What's that, the Series 7 to be able to sell all that? Yeah, there are a lot of rules. And when I was in, it was over 20 years ago. But maybe 25 years ago. So how do they get over? They're like mules. They're hiding something. I think that these are young kids. People aren't going to really pay attention, and that was their disguise, so to speak. And they were doing what they were doing, and no one was checking. No one, because as you mentioned, Yakov, they were part of the Democrat Party, probably funneling the money somewhere. And then when he was going to file Chapter 11, he's in the islands. Everybody know who he is, so to save himself from getting beat up by these people in the Bahamas, he notified the Bohemian government, and they got $100 million. They made coins. They were able to translate it into actual coins. What they call minting. They minted the coins worth $100 million, and the Bahamian government took it all. They were given 24-hour notice to do that. And then the United States doesn't like that. And the lawyer here in the United States in this congressional meeting said, we want that money. Maybe they're making that money for the election. And they were targeting black people, what they called people of color. Democrats, people of color, watch out. You're being used again. And now, Democrat New York is fighting back and extradited him. He's in jail right here in New York City. Could you believe that? They don't want him to testify. They don't want him to testify. New York City is highly, highly corrupt. And that's another reason why I want to leave. It's corruption everywhere. But I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing to the people here. They're losing their mind. And now with that contagion thing, catastrophic contagion for 2025, they're going to target the youth. They don't want you to have a future, people. You gotta expose them. Start speaking out. Do videos like I do. Say, enough is enough. Cut it out. Cut it out. Yeah. Can't think of anything else. Oh, let me see what else you wrote off. It says, when you deposit money in a bank, the front doors say we are FDIC insured. Yeah, true. But only up to 50,000 per account. So if you got over that, you lose the rest of your money. Oh, brother. That's why they put in all those different banks. That's why. Thank you for telling me that. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, so I talked about different things, people. I'm going to try to wrap it up. So what I talked about the what a great day I had today at the park, and I talked about uh, the religions of the African spirituality and Catholicism, that they both two and the same with regard to the Orishas and the we call the statues. What do you call it? The Catholic saints. If they're one and the same, because they're praying to the same thing, they just change the name and they have the same attributes. So it's the same spirit, and the same spirit, whether an African name or a Catholic name, it's the same spirit, and you're going to get the same results: bondage. And the people that I see that's involved in it, they're not thriving. Look what these people, again, not as an insult. If this God thing, or spirit thing, serves you, you serve it. But see, do you have freedom? Do you have freedom? Why would I go into something if I'm not enslaved by this thing? Why put myself into a slavery? And I mentioned about what's that? Why choose a religion? Because something bad is going to happen, and that's what this YouTuber keeps bringing up. Yes, there's a lot of chaos happening, and then he says, "Oh well, because of it, come to Jesus." Why do I want to serve a God because I don't like what's happening out there? I want a God. If I'm going to choose a God that wants me when times are good. Hey, it's times, why use fear? So you better come to me or else. Your spirit is eternal. And they know that. And that's why you're more valuable to them, because you're in this 3D world. So they want to manipulate you to navigate in this 3D world to do its bidding. I choose freedom over slavery. Yeah. So that's basically what I talked about. Yeah. It's all one and the same. I was attracted to this African spirituality thing. I've been watching some videos on it, but I mentioned about the cargo cults also in the very beginning of this video. The cargo cults, you can look it up on the internet. And the cargo cult, basically, there's the story about the Indian Ocean and Pacific Islands during World War II. You had planes come down, they had all the technology and all that. They're in these islands with people who never saw people of their race, and they had the technologies, these military men, and they were given food, and they relied on them. They started worshiping them and started making replicas of the technologies they had out of wood, and you know that's all it was. And the YouTuber was telling me that, telling us that that's what religion's all about these false gods that had technologies, and they might have been really big and strong and tall, and people looked up to them because of their knowledge and their physical appearance. They looked good, and they were worshiping them. So, and I tend to believe that. I think it's accurate what it's saying. Yeah, I heard about the cargo cult. So that's what I talked about for this live stream, and that I had a fantastic day. It was a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'm glad I got out there. I think it's going to be, usually New Year's Eve is very, very cold. Stay safe, people. Stay safe. You don't have to get fancy. Be careful with candles or things like that might be on. Um, don't drink and drive, please. You got teenagers that want to show off and everything with these losers out there, and they get a car drunk. Honey, stay at home. Get some nice little treats. You know, you can get some candies, cake, chips, juices, whatever. At a nice little table, sit down and play the little music and talk. And in the morning, you leave. Yeah, stay safe. Stay safe this New Year's Eve. You don't have to act stupid out there. Stay safe indoors. I don't go out at what do you call it, the New Year's Eve when the strike of midnight. I like to be in bed, cozy, and just be sleeping. Play it safe. That's the cool thing to do. Play it safe. Okay. So I thank you for watching this live stream. I hope you were able to hear and understand. I hope I try to make everything um, understandable. Um, yeah, enjoy your day. Enjoy your family, who you consider your family, and choose freedom over slavery. Okay? Thank you again for listening. Peace, love, joy, and harmony to you guys. Okay? Take care. Until next time. Okay? Bye bye.